Teenagers are misunderstood constantly. Everywhere in the world, teenagers face challenges like being ignored. Their voices go unheard. There has not been one generation where parents of teenagers have considered their teenagers to be perfect, yet today's teenagers are seemingly held to higher expectations. My TED Talk will address teenagers, their actions, and the meaning behind them, and more. One of the first misconceptions about teenagers would be that they are immature. Teenagers are seen as immature when in reality, they're just experiencing life for themselves. Yes, their brains aren't fully developed, but this is just teenagers growing up. Everyone has at least once messed up and lost someone's trust. Teenagers constantly hear the warnings, but still are bound to make trip-ups and mistakes in life because they're still learning. Many people learn from their mistakes, but it just molds who they are. It doesn't mean they're immature. Everyone has their opinion on politics and whether they feel like their opinion matters or not. But that's another thing. Teenagers do have an opinion on politics as well. That is something that also matters to them and is a misconception how they don't have an opinion on politics and it doesn't matter to them because they're too immature to understand it. So, being a teenager comes with your own thoughts and opinions. Out of 85 responses in a survey taken by me, 33% decided that they do not have an opinion on the topics that come up in politics, most likely because they are allowed to voice their opinions. Many teenagers also do not care for politics at all. Even if they even did have an opinion on the subject being debated, they still can't do anything about it, except maybe voice themselves. 67% of other respondents had stated multiple different opinions, though, showing that many teenagers do in fact care about politics, and they follow it on their own. Another thing that teenagers have to do is fit into the crowd. Out of 85 respondents, 95% of these people said that they have looked at themselves and wanted to change something about themselves, whether it be physically or mentally. Growing up in a society where photoshopping photos of models to make them more attractive is okay, so teenagers hold themselves to an unattainable standard. Another thing is dating as a teenager. It's also full of pressure as a teen because once a relationship ends, they don't feel like they're good enough. Even friendships ruin teen self-esteem because of all the emotions teenagers go through, like jealousy or feeling like an odd one out in a friend group. Teenagers overall face so many different things on top of their mental states like sports, family issues, the addiction to cell phones, or even just social media addiction. Even just the overwhelming amount of schoolwork that is given to them, teenagers feel like they're so stressed that they aren't understood. Teenagers are misunderstood because adults often do not look past their attitudes or screaming fits in order to see someone who needs more help, someone that's in pain. Teenagers are tired of living up to the world's standards. Nearly 70% of those who took my survey said that they try to conform to how others, like parents, might want them to behave. Teenagers simply need someone to be more understanding and to look into what makes them teenagers the way they're perceived. All these things add up just to some of the many misconceptions about teenagers. Okay, we're done.